Hi guys, it's your girl here, AW, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk. Welcome back, guys, to my channel. This is Talks with AW show. Please make sure that you hit the thumbs up, press the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload next. And also make sure that you're following all the socials at Talks with AW. Without further ado, I know why you clicked on this video. Well, one, I hope it's because you're subscribed and you actually like the content I put out. This day was coming. You guys knew it. I've been saying it in the last couple of episodes of the last couple of weeks. I've been saying that I'm going to talk about men. I've addressed the ladies. So if you want to know what I had to say to my fellow women, then you can check that out via the description link in the bio after this video and have a look at what I said. I said, I'm coming to you as a woman. And we talked about some of the reasons why some women are so male-centered, not girls, and will not leave that toxic relationship. It was an interesting dive. Glad I did it, and it's there for you guys to watch and let me know your thoughts on. But today we are going to address men. Yes, we are. Now, I want to first preface this video by saying this. I love men. Okay, I am of the belief that men and women should be able to coexist lovingly, respectfully, and peacefully. That's my goal in anything I do in terms of content-wise, projects, events. I'm all about bringing everybody together. I like unity, I like love, I like friendship, I like community. That's me. So I love men, and I just want to say that. And I don't want that to be taken out of context. I'm saying in the context of what I'm about to address. I love men, just like I love women. Do you understand? I made that clear in the last video. So I'm going to make it clear in this video. I love men. Some of the people that have absolutely championed me, supported me, lifted me up, encouraged me, put me on is men. And so when I talk about men, I don't want this to ever come across as, oh, I hate men, or I don't like men, or, men are trash. You've never heard me say that, and you'll never hear me say it because I don't believe that and I don't think that. Okay. But in the same way I held the ladies accountable, is the same way I'm going to hold the men accountable. Okay. And at the end of the day, these are just my opinions and my views. So you may agree, you may disagree. Okay, whatever the case might be, I do want to hear your thoughts. So do let me know how you feel about this video in the comments. What parts resonate with you? Where do you think I might be capping or over exaggerating? Whatever. I would love to know your thoughts. So do engage. I do reply to the comments. I want to get the conversation going. That's what this segment is about. It's about an open conversation. So what I say isn't a full stop in it. It is just my opinion. But I would love to engage in conversation and hear what you guys have to say. Men. I don't know at what stage of life men learn to become manipulative and gaslighty, okay, or become gaslighters, where they learn how to finesse and scam women, okay, where they learn to lie. I don't know which part of the developmental stage that they learn this innate quality, because quite frankly, they all possess it. And if I'm lying, again, let me know in the comments. Tell me I'm lying. Please, I beg you. Because I'm not saying that women don't lie, but this video ain't about women. We addressed women in the other video. And like I said, if you want to watch that, if you're just somebody who's a glutton for hearing women being told off or being held accountable, you can go and check out that video in the link in my description. But this is about men. Okay? You knew what you clicked on when you clicked on this. So don't be trying to say, but women, because I ain't trying to hear that. This is about men. Okay? I don't know at what stage men learn to lie. But one thing all men can do is lie. And they do it well. You would think by now, okay? You would think by now, in 2024, how long have we been on this planet? Okay? How many things have we advanced in? But it's men's lies that still have us in ropes, in chains, in bondage. It's still men's lies that is causing carnage to the society. It is still men's lies that is destroying family homes. Why? Why? And let's just even rewind, because let me just say this. I'm not going to sit here and say that all men are bad, all men are trash. We're not doing that. There are many qualities that men who want to be men, who want to be providers, who want to be leaders, who want to be change makers, who want to be peacemakers, possess, that are fantastic. Men who are men of integrity, men who are men of their word, men who have respect for everything, everyone, men who value life and understand their contribution to society, understand their privilege in society, men who are self-aware and want to actually change. These men are incredible beings. And I'm fortunate to have very few, but I'm fortunate to have friends like this who they're like, you know what, I'm not perfect, but I'm always on a journey to be the best that I can be. I know I've done some messed up things, but I'm going to improve on that. I know I haven't always been the best partner, but I'm going to be the best partner to my wife. I'm going to work on that. Who actually care about how women feel and how they make women feel. Great guys. I'm fortunate to know a few. Very few, but I'm fortunate to know them. Okay. And they make a difference in my life. As I've said, it's mainly these men who will have contributed to where I am today, to many things that I'm doing today. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful to them. However, this doesn't take away from the fact that there are far too many men who are just horrible. They're just horrible. They're just not nice people. They're actually just nasty in general. So if we're just being honest, some men are just not nice people. They're just not. And it's unfortunate. It's a shame. Because when men are nice, when men are willing to be men and take leadership and ownership and accountability for the way they treat people, for how they conduct themselves, understanding their privilege, they do wonderful things in society. Okay, they do wonderful things in society. And we have some good examples. But unfortunately, even some of the men that we revere as, you know, pioneers and as game changers and as men who have paved a way and, you know, broken generational curses, their past, even up until their passing, is very shady and is, you know, kind of intertwined with a lot of misogyny. And so my thing is, how do we get to a place where men and women can acknowledge and accept their inherent differences, because there are differences for a reason, and that is fine. There's nothing wrong with those differences. But when do we get to a stage where men and women acknowledge, yes, we are different, but we actually need one another? One complements the other. I am so sorry that Sarah, Shaniqua, Danielle broke your heart in year 4 or year 9 or in college. I'm so sorry that that happened. But when do we get to a stage where we say, you know what? I was 14, I was 16. I probably didn't make the right decisions. She probably didn't make the right decisions. We were literally kids, we were young. But I'm still here. I've survived past that. Cool. What can I do? If this is something that's still bothering me, this is something that's still affecting me, if I can see that it's affecting how I communicate and relate to women, maybe I need to go and do some internal work. Why are men not having more of those conversations? Why are the majority of men's conversations, and I'm only saying this based on what I see online, because I have to be honest, in my real life, the men I know, yes, it's a hard conversation for them to think about counseling and all. It is, but it's something they acknowledge, you know what, I do need. And they're like, you know what, I'm not necessarily open to it, but I know it's something I need to do. Okay, so why are those not the conversations that you're having in your group chat? Why are those not the conversations that are being had on podcasts? Why are you guys not sitting down and talking about the fact that you are messed up and you need help? Why is that not the conversation we're having? I just want to know. Because for how long are you going to keep making excuses? One woman does something, and that's why the Omelette concept girl thing, it was two sides for me. I understood what she did on that stage was crazy, but the projection in the comments was disgusting. I was genuinely like, grown men, old enough to be even her father, commenting on the situation. Are you serious? If we take a look at what you were doing at 23, what she did is nothing. Like, seriously, we need to stop projecting onto other people and start looking inwards. What are you going to do as a man to be a better man and to be a better part of society and to heal the community? Because you have a responsibility. I don't know why men always look to women to do all of this stuff. You are equally responsible. You are equally, if not more responsible, to ensure there is unity, to ensure there is community. I'm even trying to avoid being biblical here. I'm just trying to think in the most basic terms in a way that everybody can relate to and understand. As a man, you have a duty of care on this earth to everything in it and to your fellow woman. And so when you as a man sit on a podcast in your group chat, making jokes about essay and being odd or R-ing people, about being violent to women, you are falling short of your responsibility. I hope you understand that. You are not the man that you think you are. Maybe in front of your boys, and this is the other thing, maybe in front of your boys, you might seem like Don Dada, the cool guy, but in the grand scheme of things, this is where it doesn't translate. It doesn't cross over. Maybe to your boys, yes, my guy, funny guy, whatever. But when it comes to now, when you're trying to actually get a woman to take you seriously or to commit to you, then you start to find that actually nobody really wants to be with you. And then you want to reverse that and say, she's the problem, instead of identifying the fact that you innately have some issues that need work on before any woman can consider herself being with you. Men fear men. I believe it, I've seen it, and I know it. Okay, men fear men. That is one thing throughout history that has repeatedly shown itself. Men fear men. This is a very silly example, but it's one I'm going to use anyways. A couple of weeks ago, Jacques randomly popped up online in the middle of his drama with his current girlfriend and his ex Treasy, screaming into his phone, effing up and blinding at Trey Songz. One of the things that everybody caught that he said about Trey Songz is that Trey Songz is a apist. My thing is this. For how long have you known that, Jacques? Or did you just figure out that night when you guys fell out over whatever girl you guys were fighting over? Because you see, when Keke Palmer said it all those years ago, everybody was looking at her like, okay. When I remember this, I can't remember who these people were. I think they were on E! News or some sort of kind of like news commentary channel that was on television years ago. She spoke about an encounter she had with Trey Songz at a party. And the men in the room were like, is it funny? Because I was quite disturbed by that. He kissed her. And I believe might have groped her as well. But I'm going to just insert it here for clarity.
It was like they rented like a mansion, and everybody at the end, it was like only like 50 of us at the end of the party, you know. It's like all these, some of the Victoria's Secret models, like his big clients, and Trey Songz was there with his date. And I go to the pool house, literally, and I swear on everything, he's giving me the eye all night, and I was like, okay, what's going on? This is weird. I go to the pool house, just like right by the pool, and he literally is at the door and pushes me against the wall and puts his lips on my lips and is like, let's do this. I'm like, oh my God, I don't think I should tell this story.
This story is great.
Nice to meet with Trey Songz. Totally, yes.
Honestly, I'm probably going to get killed for this. I'm not probably am.
No. And then he held you down, right?
And then obviously you've had the very popular twins, these two biracial twins. They went viral a couple of years ago. I want to say that maybe 5-6 years ago. This was like, no, maybe even longer than that. They went viral first on Vine, I think, and then on Instagram they became really popular. Really beautiful girls. They play basketball. They've been around Drake and some other celebrities at some point. And one of the sisters, basically, or one of the twins, basically came out at the top of 2022, or was it 2023? No, at the end of 2022, or yeah, I think it was the end of 2022, she said that Trey Songz to her. and that she had the evidence and she was going to pursue it in court. We haven't heard from her since. I don't even know if she's still active on the socials. I'm going to have to check it after this. And so women have been saying that this guy is a creep, he's a weirdo. None of the men have said anything. But you get into an argument with him, you have a disagreement about a woman, and now suddenly you acknowledge that he is all the things that all these women have been saying. The Diddy case is a classic example. So many men, and even women, but because we're talking about men, so many men complicit in all of this. But you see now, because the money is drying up, people are starting to speak out more. Over the last couple of years, bodyguards, now people who directly work with Diddy, are coming out to say, this man is exactly what these women have been saying he is for the last 30 years. He's an abuser, he is this, he is this, he is this. And to me, all this just proves is that men fear men. Because why was it not good enough when a woman said, this is what has happened to me? You as a man who is supposed to protect and provide and lead, why as a man did you not feel the innate desire to say, you know what, we're going to stand against this? Why do men not support charities of domestic violence? Why are men not raising awareness? Why are men not cutting off their friends who they know do these predatory things? Because you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be considered a coon, lame, uncool, unmanly. When really and truly, the manly thing to do is to stand up for what is right and to do what is right, to be the voice of reason, to lead by example, to exercise self-control. But you see, what's happened now is that men believe the more outlandish they are, the more horrible they are to women, the more they exploit women and take advantage of women, the more they can finesse and be seen as the player or whatever the case might be, the more manly they are considered or revered as among their peers. But the reality of that is you will reap what you sow. Men fear men so much to the point, and I'm not saying it's all men, but it's a large portion of men. Men fear men so much that they won't even date or talk to a girl they like for fear of judgment from their boys. That's just insane to me. Because all I think to myself is, imagine if women held men to that same standard. No one would date each other. Because if we're just being very general here, and I am mainly generalizing, but we're gonna get specific in a minute. If women were to judge men on the same metrics that men judge women, no one would be with anybody. Like, there was a time in my life I was like, I'm convinced men just love the drama. They love the fuss. Okay, they love the, they just love chaos. Like, I was genuinely convinced of that at one point, because it just felt like it's like the new generation of men, or this generation of men, they leave so much. And I'm not saying the previous generations of men didn't, but they knew how to keep their home in order. Most of them, because there was still a lot of, running around and craziness going on, even in our parents' generation. Let's not even front. But these guys are just messy and sloppy, and they don't know how to keep home in order. So I'm like, if women were to judge men based on how men judge women, nobody dates anyone. Because actually, there's very, 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 very few men that actually would be considered worth dating if women were judging men on the same metrics. Very few, like incredibly few. And that's a shame. That's sad. Men love to overgeneralize women, but hate it when women do it to them. But I'm like, every day you guys get on this internet and you paint women with the same brush, when really and truly, it's your character and your decisions that keeps landing you in the same situations with the same kind of women. You like the chaos. You like the drama. You wanted something that looks good, and you didn't do the due diligence to know if it's good on the inside as well. And then you're mad and you say, all women are like this. No, all women are not like this. In fact, the majority of women are not like this. The majority of women are sane and are sound, do care, do want to be able to nurture and love and look after and create a family. But because you're running around here going after the same type of women, and then when you actually happen to encounter a woman who actually cares about you and who values you, treat her like how you should have been treating the lady before. Not saying that anybody deserves maltreatment, but I'm just saying. And then the cycle continues. I just saw a tweet the other day, actually. If I can find it again, I'm going to put it on here. This guy said that a girl he liked, he fancied, I don't know if he was actually talking to her yet at this point, put on her story that she's never been to an NBA game and sat front row, right? So he took it upon himself without communicating with her prior to get these front row tickets, and then told her to meet him at 7 at so-and-so so he can take her to the game, front row seats. And he thought she was just gonna be like, oh my gosh, yay. As if this isn't a working woman who's got other responsibilities or bills to pay, or who might have already had other plans on that Friday evening. No consideration. He just thought, if I do this grand gesture for her, even though, again, he didn't provide the entire context, but when he did kind of follow up in his tweets, he did say that they did end up going out like 3 weeks later to something else, which is a bit, you know, low, wasn't as fancy or as exclusive as that. And what I liked about his response is he actually said he was embarrassed because he didn't think it through. He didn't think to check with her and see, actually, is she free? Does she even want to go with me? Because it's clear, and that kind of clarified a little bit further that I think they've only just been talking. It's not that they were exclusive or dating or anything like that. So when he did actually follow up with, okay, I actually want to take you out, then they did actually end up going out. But that's my thing. It's like so many men were ready to jump on that tweet. Don't worry, the women collected him with the first tweet. They gathered him. Okay, they gathered him nicely. That's why he had to quickly come out and say, look, guys, I'm not even saying it in a way that, like, I was mad at her. Yes, it was her loss, because, I mean, it was a great game, but it was my own fault, and I'm embarrassed by it. So I did like that. Even though the women dragged him, he also said, you know what, yes, I'm not even trying to say that it's her fault. My bad. But the men, the men couldn't wait. The men could not wait, child. They could not wait. They could not wait to tell women, to tell the internet how women aren't anything. Women aren't worth nothing. Women don't deserve nice things. Women are this. I'm not saying there aren't wicked women. There are. There are wicked women. But you guys insist on loving them. So why wouldn't more women want to be wicked? Because when women want to show you love, and when they want to pour into you, and they want to believe in you, and they want to uplift you, you treat them how you should be treating those women who are treating you badly. So why wouldn't every woman want to eventually say, you know what, forget it. The colder I am, the more likely this guy is to respect me. But why should that be the dynamic? Why should that be the dynamic? Where do we get to a place where we start to understand that we need to start valuing things that are good for us, instead of always chasing what the flesh desires, but we know isn't inherently good for us? You want a woman to respect you and to submit to you. Oh, every time I see that word coming from a man, it just makes my skin crawl. Because it's never, ever submission to a man who has any of the good qualities I listed before. It's always submitting to a man who doesn't have anything, whose character is incredibly flawed, who is misogynistic, who is probably even borderline abusive. Okay, a man who doesn't want to, who doesn't have any respect for women. Why would a woman submit to that? And don't get me wrong, there are women who do, but they have serious issues. A lot of the time, if you look at those dynamics, those are the women that will go and do like what Krishan did and get the man tatted on their face. And that's a special breed of woman, and they have serious issues and they need help. They do. But that's for them to figure out. Nobody can force them to reach that point of realizing that the way I'm behaving is not okay. But you as a man, you want a woman to submit to you. You want to be in this position of authority. But there is nothing you do that commands that. There is nothing you offer that commands that. So why would anybody? There's even another tweet another guy tweeted the other day. And I'm seeing a lot more of these kind of tweets from men. And I'm like, you know what? Own it. Just say that you like men and keep it moving. Another man said that I come home to a woman who cannot even cook or clean for me or give me, perform her wifely duties. I might as well just marry a man because at least the conversation will be good. So you want to marry your maid or you want to marry a wife, a partner, a helper? Because I think sometimes when men hear the word helper, this is why you need to read your Bible. If you're going to quote the Bible, please make sure you've read it from beginning to end. Because a lot of the people quoting the Bible have not read the Bible in its entirety. And it's so annoying. It's so annoying. You come here profusely, the Bible says this, you don't know the word of God. You don't know it. Because if you knew it, you would know the value that women have in the Bible. You would know the value women possess in the kingdom of God. But you don't know it. That's why you sit on a microphone, or you kiki in your friendship groups, or you post on Twitter about women need to be like this. In the Bible, it says you don't know what God says about women. You don't know. So please just say you hate women and go. Don't keep quoting the Bible because you don't know the word of God. If you know the word of God, you will know how God views women. The first time I, as a woman, became empowered as a woman is when I read the Bible. Because the narrative in society, especially as a Black woman, makes me feel like I am worth literally nothing. But the Bible tells me I am everything. The Bible tells me I am beautifully and wonderfully made. It tells me about the beauty in my qualities as a woman and how that supports a man. And how that supports society, builds community, builds a home. How I am capable of having dreams beyond what I can imagine, achieving things that they said only men could achieve. That's what the Bible tells me. It affirms me as a person. It gives me identity. So if you as a man claim to be God-fearing and know the Bible, you should know that. And if you know that, you would have more respect for your fellow woman, as your helper, as your partner, and as a member of God's family. But you don't know the word. And in fact, more time, you don't even know yourself. And that is why you come online and you kind of swallow these red pill conversations and you contribute to the larger problem. Because you don't even know who you are. And that makes me sad. That makes me so sad. You don't know who you are as a man. You don't know the value you possess as a man. Because if you truly knew it in here and in here, in your gut, you would move differently. You would exercise self-control and discipline. You would have respect for your fellow man and your fellow woman. You would be focused on your God purpose and your God goals, your God-given goals. But you can't do that if you have no idea who you are. You can't do that if you don't know how loved and valued you are. You can't do that if you've grown up in environments where you haven't been allowed to express yourself, express your creativity, express your emotions, and go through the motions and come back from it. If everybody around you is telling you that to be a man, you need to be tough and all of these things, and you never get an opportunity to tap into who you are at the core, who you were born to be, then you become something that is ugly, fractured, demoralized, toxic, and outright poisonous to yourself and to everyone around you. I really want my fellow brothers, I really want any man watching this video to say to yourself this year, please say to yourself this year, I want to be a happy, healthy man. And whatever it takes for me to be that version of myself that is authentic, that is genuine, that is kind, that is decisive, that is caring, that is focused, do that. So yes, I really just want more men to start seeking therapy. I really do. And I really do. And I pray for my male friends. You know, I tell them this sometimes. I actually do pray for them because I'm just like, you're such wonderful people, inside and out. Genuinely, genuinely some of the most caring, nicest people. But everybody, just like some of my female friends, some of my women friends, we have weaknesses. But unfortunately, as a man, some of those weaknesses can quite literally not just ruin you, but everybody you come into contact with. It doesn't just damage you. As a man, you have more responsibility. That's just a fact. And so when you go into the world as this toxic individual, unhealed individual, you do so much harm and you don't even realize it. You don't even realize how much pain and chaos you inflict in the lives of people by you being unhealed. And healing is not a linear journey. I've said this in many episodes. It takes time, and that's okay. Some days you'll be up for it, some days you won't. Listen, some days I'm like, yes, I am committed to being the most healed version of myself, and I know what I need to do to be on track. And then some days I'm like, absolutely not, Chan. Okay, I'm going to sit in this and I'm going to figure it out in a way that is comforting to me. We're people, we're humans, we're going to have those moments, but that doesn't take away from the responsibility. You still have a responsibility. You can't want to be a leader in society, a leader in your home, and not possess the right attributes, the right qualities, and expect to receive respect just because you're a man. I'm sorry. That's not how this works. I respect everyone personally, just like, you know, general respect for everyone. I have that. But if you're coming into my life, for example, as a partner, there's levels to this because I am doing the work. I am doing the things that I would want my partner to be doing for themselves and to be doing for me. I'm doing that. So I cannot just invite anything or anyone into my life. You only have to learn once. Okay, some of us it takes a bit longer, and that's okay. But you only have to experience what it's like to date somebody who is unhealed to know that I don't want to be in that yet. And that's not to judge them and say that they can't heal, but there needs to be action behind the words. You cannot just keep saying, I am going to get better, but then you keep doing the same things year after year. No, we need to see something. We need to start seeing improvement. I dislike the online discourse so much because it's so toxic. And women are just as guilty. Many women are just as guilty in partaking in the nonsense online. However, men, you have a responsibility. And you can't say that you want a woman that does this and brings this to the table, and that when you yourself bring nothing. Just D and problems. D and headaches. D and heartbreak. That's what a lot of men bring to the table. D and confusion. D and nowhere to go. How about you start working on your health, mentally, physically? How about you start repairing relationships that you damaged? Maybe the one with yourself, the one with God. How about you start showing up for your friends more, being more attentive to what's happening in the world? How about you start caring about world issues? How about you start exercising respect for women outside of what you can get from them? How about we get some help to do all of those things if we're struggling? I just want to see men in a better place. You know, there's so many men with potential. There's so many. But that doesn't mean anything if you're not doing anything to cultivate that. The first assignment that Adam was given in the Bible is to cultivate. People always focus on the you know, populating the earth. The earth is populated. You can even slow down. Okay, some of you are on your 4th or 5th baby mom. We can slow down. It's okay. It is well. Thank you for your contribution. But you can calm down now. You can slow down. It is fine. It's okay. But What about the gifts God has given you? What about being a positive role model to the kids in the neighborhood who maybe don't have a father or an older brother in their life? What about volunteering and signing up for things that are going to have a positive impact socially, economically, politically, globally? What about talking about men's health and having those kind of discussions? Or are we just too afraid that the man that your guys are going to just like banter you? Are we just too afraid that the guys are going to banter you and think you're uncool and unmanly and a coon and being too feminine? Even that, like the way people try to use the word like feminine or, you know, gay and things like that to kind of offend men who want to actually make changes is insane to me. Because when I read in the Bible and I look at how God refined the men he called, those who are willing anyways to be refined, some, you know, were going back and forth with God, they were tussling a little bit. But what then they then became when they allowed themselves to go through that process of refinement? Kings. Respected by all, we're still talking about them today. How can you want to be, or how can you consider yourself a king, a man worthy of respect, when the only thing you do is take advantage of people and show disrespect? It doesn't make sense. You don't bully your way into being respected. That's fear. That's fear. And trust me, when somebody is able to overcome that fear, you're going to feel their wrath. You are going to see their wrath. Of course you are. So don't be mad that so many women are saying, I'd rather be single than be married. Because what have you as a man done to make any woman feel like marrying you would be worth the risk? Because right now, that's what it feels like. Marriage feels like a risk for a lot of women. And I don't blame them. I still desire it. I still look forward to it. I love love. So I know that I'm going to fall back in love again one day. And I'm excited for that day. I'm not in a rush, but I'm excited for that day. Right? But when I'm looking at the material, I'm like, some of you are so handsome, gorgeous. Oh, the packaging, chef's kiss. But the interior, wow. I'm like more like, I want to be your sister so we can pray. I don't even want to date you. I just want to care for you as I would my brother or my friend. I don't actually want to be with you. I want to see you get better because, wow, it's scary, okay? I'm not even saying that all men have this issue, that all men are bad, that all men are liars, manipulators and deceivers, and that all men are just incapable of growth and change. No, because we've seen many examples of men who have done the work and who want to be committed to their partners and who want to love and who want to marry and build a family. There are plenty of men like this. And I love that. But there is such a pushback from the majority of men towards men like that. Why is it that every time a guy comes online and comes and says, you know what, I'm a good husband. I love my wife. I spoil my wife. Everybody, coon, lame. You know who the man in the relationship is, and a bunch of other derogatory things that I'm not going to repeat here. Why? Why is that the comment section? Why is it that when a woman gets online and says, you know, my man is so good to me, I love my man, he's such a good man to me, he provides for me, I don't even have to cook or clean. Everybody's like, what a useless woman. Why did he marry you? I hope you're doing something for him in return. Come on. Come on. Women who are notorious for dating all sorts of types of men, from the poorest of them all to the most abusive of them all, to the richest of them all. Women have dated, as you know, so many different types of men throughout history. Not many things stops a woman from falling in love with a man. And that also is a topic for another day. And it annoys me because I'm like, now, as we get older, as women, you know, there's certain things when you're like 19, 20, okay, I can understand. But when you're, you know, 35, 36, 37, I'm like, we need to be looking at something different. We need to be looking at something that we cannot be still dating the same guy we used to like when we were 19. We're different. Things should have evolved. People should have grown. Okay. Why is it the discourse that always runs when men come out and say that they love their wives out loud, they love their women out loud, and they want to be providers in the house, or they want to be present fathers? Look at how many people defend Future. Russell is visibly an excellent husband and father to a son that isn't even his. He has raised that boy and treated him as his own before he even had his own kids with Sierra. And still, many men will rush to the comments every single time without fail and call that man everything but a child of God. They will call that man.
I walked in the room and I saw, you know, little Future. He's 9 months at the time or whatever, and he crawls in my lap, and it was like, you know, this is going to be my responsibility. God, I remember leaving that night, and God saying, God saying to me, raising this child is going to be your responsibility. And realizing that, I pray that, God, are you sure this is what you want me to do? Say, son, this is for you.
The first night?
Yeah, the first night.
But they will praise Future. Future, the one who cannot hold down a relationship, the one that cannot get married, the one that only knows how to procreate, but clearly isn't a present father in all of these kids' lives. London on the Track, Nick Cannon. These men forever get praised for being irresponsible, lacking self-control. Why? Because they've all had the baddest bees. So that's the bar of being a man to you, is having the baddest women. I'm sorry. If you really want to be taken seriously by the opposite sex, you're going to have to raise that bar. If you want to be taken seriously in this life, you're going to have to raise that bar. There is nothing wrong with being in tune with your emotions. More men should want to be emotionally intelligent. It's not just for the sake of women, it's for your own sake as well. Because a lot of men have a lot of repressed emotions and feelings, and then it comes out in other ways that are toxic and dangerous to everyone around them, including themselves. Don't want to be emotionally intelligent just so you can bag a woman and then, you know, use it to your advantage. Be emotionally intelligent for you. Be a healthier version of yourself for you. Be somebody of integrity, somebody that people can rely on and trust, not just for other people, but for you. A lot of men just want to have the facade of being that person, but don't want to do the actual work to be that person. That's not okay. That's manipulation. And then they will gaslight you. Why? Why do it? Why not just actually be the thing that you're pretending to be? Would that not just be far less stressful? What are you so afraid of confronting and facing and dealing with? That's what you need to get to the bottom of. Why are you so worried? And I think the other thing is, there's this sense of, if I do that, I become weak. No, there is nothing weak about being aware of your feelings, having respect for women, wanting to look after your family, wanting to be a leader. There is nothing weak about acknowledging the fact that I am not the best person right now, but I want to be. And then doing the work towards that. There's nothing weak about it. It's actually probably one of the most attractive things a man can do. And this is why a lot of the times you'll see with women, once a guy gets into a relationship, that man becomes the finest thing walking, even if he wasn't necessarily before, because they're now assuming a role and responsibility that shows that they have discipline, that shows they have desire for community and family, that shows that they can work hard. The fact that another woman was prepared to give you a chance and find you desirable means that you're a man worth being with. And so that, of course, makes you appear more attractive to other women. Now, the women who go as far as, trying to take other women's man, we addressed that in the last, we addressed that in my previous video. There's nothing wrong with being emotionally aware and emotionally intelligent. There's nothing wrong as a man going to get therapy. There's nothing wrong as a man loving love and wanting to love out loud. I love it when I see men talk and openly and talk. Yeah, I want to be in a relationship. I do want to have a family one day. I want to have a wife. Yes. I'm like, good for you. I love that for you. I love that for you, because you should want that. That's great. There's nothing wrong with wanting that. So what steps are you taking towards it? Because everybody's so focused on what women are doing, Women have been having families with men who can't do nothing and won't do nothing. Women have been doing that throughout history. Women have been, and then they get scolded for giving those kind of men a chance. But these are the same men cussing women up and down. What do you want? I'm just so confused. Why do your male friendships have more of a say on who you are and what you do more than you do? Men are so quick to get onto men. Some men are so quick to get onto women about their girl group chats and girls taking their girls' advice. But you are out here literally living by what your bro is telling you. While your bro is doing his own thing, you literally won't date the girl that you love because your bro said, nah, bro, she's not it. I'm not gonna lie. But you find her beautiful. You think she's lame. You think her personality bangs. Why is that not enough of a reason for you to pursue that? Or you like this particular situation or this particular job. Why is it until the man them say, then you go? Well, why is it until the guys say, then you go? Why can you not stand on your own 2 feet as a guy and say, I respect your opinion, bros, but this is what I want to do? And I get it, because I'm sure in every group chat, there's been one guy that's done that and been burnt. But that is the game of love. My goodness, if every woman gave up after the first heartbreak, you guys wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't be here. If your mom gave up after the first heartbreak she went through, you wouldn't have been born. This is just a fact. So heartbreak doesn't have to be the be all and end all. It's painful. It's not a nice feeling. We know that. Trust me. You ask any woman, she would tell you she's been heartbroken, if not once, at least 5 times before. But such is the risk of love. And that doesn't make you weak because you got cheated on and because you got played. It's just what happened in that situation. And it's unfortunate, but we've got to move on. You cannot now start demonizing all women and abusing women and disrespecting women and talking about women anyhow because you had one bad experience. In the words of Aaliyah, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again. That's just the game of love. If you really want family, you want to really be, the man that you say you want to be, you're going to have to do the work, dear. You're going to have to do the work. I know mommy coddles you, mommy tells you, you're the best thing going, but I'm sorry to tell you, in the wider scheme of things, you're not the best thing going. You're not. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. God still loves you, and there will be a woman who loves you. But why not start working towards being the man that in your mind you think you are who you want to be? Not a future, not a Nick Cannon. No, you. The man God created you to be. What's your purpose? What are you here on this earth at this time to do? That is what you need to be tapping into. Look at the characteristics of the men who were great in the Bible. Never once did God commend these men for having multiple wives. You will not find a scripture where God says he was happy that these men had multiple wives. That is something they did on their own accord. God never blessed them or gave them more because they did that. Where God blessed them, where God met them, is when they came to God and said, I have made a mistake. God, I need you. It's when they cried to God and they asked for forgiveness. That is when God came in. God didn't bless them with multiple wives. They chose to go and marry multiple wives because that was the culture at the time and that was seen as societally acceptable. God didn't say go and marry multiple wives. Not once. It doesn't exist in the Bible. And that's why it annoys me so much when people quote these things, because I know you haven't read it. Especially if you're somebody who's read the Bible multiple times as well. And there'll still be people that'll come and tell me I'm wrong and blah, blah. We can do the dance back and forth. But I'm reading it and I'm asking for a revelation every time I'm reading it. And no, God didn't bless it. God didn't say go and marry multiple wives. God didn't ordain it. What God loved about these men or women that he chose in the Bible was their heart for him, their love for him, the desire to know him and do his will. All I'm saying, man, please, let's all be calming down. Let's all just relax, okay? Women are not evil. After God, it's not fear women. It's still fear men because y'all are terrifying. But at the end of the day, I want to see men be great again. I do. I want to see men be great again. I want to see men being the leaders they were born to be. I want to see men taking up the responsibilities, taking up accountability for their actions, rectifying their wrongs, doing what is right, caring about the community again. I want men to be in positions of leadership where they can look after the youth and young people, where they can care about world causes, where they can support their fellow women. I want to see men loving their women out loud. I want to see men be great again. And that starts with you. And that is all for today's video, guys. It's a much shorter one, but again, I'm not a man, so there's only so much I can say. And again, I didn't really want to, you know, again, this is not about bashing men. I don't hate men. I love men. Like I said, some of the greatest people in my life who have ever loved me, supported me, you know, uplifted me have been men. That's just a fact of life. And I'm so appreciative of those people. And so I just want to see men be great again. So let me know what you think. I mean, there might be some things you guys disagree on. There might be things you guys agree on. There's so many ways I could have taken this conversation, but I just thought, you know what, let's just get the conversation started, and then I will probably get a guy on here to dissect this conversation further, maybe even two guys, just to come and, you know, actually add weight to the conversation. But I've started it nonetheless. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate you being here every week. Thank you so much for all the new subscribers as well. Thank you for joining the Talks with Ada family. Make sure, guys, that you've liked this video, you've subscribed, hit the notification bell, and follow the socials at Talks with Ada B. Until next time, guys. Bye.